What's up, everybody? This is Podcast Gameoverse episode 131 for Saturday, January 21st. I am Wasabi Ice Cream. Joined as always, my dude Rick. What's up?
Yo, what's up, everybody? We have very little to talk about here in terms of news.
Yes.
Not a lot happened. I will be mentioning we will not be talking about the Microsoft layoffs quite yet. I know there's some stuff developing on it, but to be honest, everyone's laying off people right now, and there's too many rumors going around, not enough actual facts. So probably next week when the stories develop a little bit more. But yeah, it's not gonna be a topic this week, but we know what happened. But in the meantime, though, we always start, man. Tell everyone what you've been playing.
I didn't play anything, really, but
Great.
I did.
That's the show, everybody.
Great show. I think we outdid ourselves this time. I did watch that The Last of Us HBO episode 1
Yes.
came out on Sunday, and I watched that.
And
So
how was it?
it's great. I mean, it's fantastic. Did you see it? Did you watch it?
No, I didn't. I was gonna watch it, but some shit came up. Like, I
Okay.
got a baby, so I don't have time to really watch anything.
Oh yeah, I feel you. Yeah, that would do it. Yeah,
Well,
it's
that's a lie. I have time to watch stuff, but like, I don't really get a chance to pay attention to it because of the baby. So I'm waiting
Yeah.
until like I have a good, like, uninterrupted, like, well, how long's the first episode? Like an hour? Like a good uninterrupted hour. To,
hour
watch
20.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's good. I mean, if you played that game, you've seen most of this show. I'm gonna say because
Another thing I wanted to get into, like, nah, you finish your thing, and I'll go into my thing in a little bit.
well, I guess that's the thing about it is that it adheres very closely to what that game was, almost shot for shot in a lot of places, which is good. That's a good thing because most of these like video game adaptations just they cannot resist the urge to just fucking go off the rails and just kind of just do their own fucking thing.
Yeah.
And it's always for the worse. Always for the worse. I think most recently like that Halo show, which I haven't even bothered to watch, but
Yeah.
I get like Halo's not as of a straight up story driven experience as The Last of Us is. Like The Last of Us could just stand alone as, on its story. So I get like most games just don't really have that advantage. But when it comes to just, hey, the story here is good, let's just take that and just do it. I think that's exactly just what the fuck they do in this. So
Yeah.
it's hard to say anything else about it other than I guess the parts where they do deviate, they only deviate to add more context into parts of the game where they kind of gloss over. Like in the beginning, like Sarah, they show her in school a little bit and interacting with like the neighborhood and her neighbors and stuff like that, just so you get a little bit more context of what their relationship was with their neighbors and their like neighborhood. Like everyone knows Joel and their little like cul-de-sac.
Yeah, I like that. That's some context that, like, it would suck to play that in a game, but it makes sense to put it like in a show.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like that.
So it's stuff like that, and they do like change. There's one thing they do change where it's like, man, it's been a while since I played that first game. I've been waiting for it to hit PC so I could replay through it like in the best quality I could. So there's parts about that game that I don't remember fully, but there's I don't remember the reason why Joel and Tess are doing anything. I don't. Okay, so in the show, Joel's like super worried about Tommy And I guess throughout the 20 years in between the beginning of that, the between the beginning and where they end up in like Boston, between the 20 years, they've maintained contact with Tommy.
Mhm.
And I guess at some point in the show, he just loses contact with like some radio. He loses contact with Tommy, and he gets super worried. And then that's what pushes him to move to like just go out and find him. And I'm like, I don't
Yeah.
remember that. And there's like, that's not enough motivation to me to be like, no, Tommy, he's in trouble. I gotta get. Like, he doesn't like do that, but I feel like that's basically like what he's doing in the show. Is just like,
Yeah, that's not it in the game. I remember it clearly. It was a job. They got a job to
yeah, yeah.
take out.
Well, no.
And
It's
the
like
job was
that happens. That happens in the show, but in the show, it's like they were already planning on going somewhere. Like they were in the show, they were already planning to go visit Tommy because they were worried about him. And then like the Ellie thing comes up, and then that's why they actually go out. But
that's not it in the game at all. Yeah,
yeah,
like they got a job for it, and the job was just to like drop Ellie off in I can't remember where, but that's when like you find out. So spoilers if you haven't played the game, but the game's 10 years old at this point, so fuck you. When you find out like Triss is infected, because they're supposed to drop her off at like that Firefly hideout, but then they got like fucking ganked by a bunch of raiders.
yeah,
So, and then after that, Joel's like, let's go meet my brother Tommy. Him and I haven't talked in like 20 years, so I don't know how it's gonna go down.
yeah.
And he was gonna like dump Ellie there too in the game. He was gonna dump her there because he was like, fuck this, I'm not gonna finish this job. Like,
So I mean, I get again in the show they do give more. They give Tommy a little bit more context, a little bit more, not a lot, but they do
we'll
give him a
probably get
little
more
bit
later.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But he's because he didn't get much in the game either. So when you do go visit Tommy, you're like, who the fuck? For me, I was like, who the fuck is this? And you forget, oh yeah, it's his fucking brother.
Yeah, like there's some subtext there where like Joel used to be a Firefly and he was like, fuck this, I'm doing this to survive now. So he starts taking odd jobs, and that's when he meets Tess. And like, there's a lot of like subtext in the game that explains, but you never see it like on screen. It sounds like it's showing a lot of that on screen with this show.
Not even like
Yeah,
like all that backstory. You don't get that either, which I
it'll
wish
probably
you
show
did.
up later. It'll probably show up later with the Tommy
Like in
episode. I'm sure it
flashbacks,
will.
maybe like because
Yeah.
the most they do is. And that was one of the other things I felt was a little weird is because he's a troubled man, but you don't get to see any of that because the only flashbacks you ever see is the him just reliving the death of his daughter,
Yeah.
and that's all you get. And from what they show in the show, it makes you think that that's the only thing that's happening. It's like that one thing fucking scarred him for life, which it would, but it's 20 years between that. Like I'm sure he's like such more. He's had much more experiences where that would fuck him up as well, but it always goes back to that one moment. That's the one that triggers him, and then he ends up fucking, doing something or saying something or. So
Yeah. I mean, we'll see when the show comes out or when the show releases more episodes. Because, like, in the game, like, Joel is like a stone cold, like, killer, dude. Like, he doesn't give a fuck. Like,
yeah.
he will gank you before you gank him. And
that's why I was hoping, because they get into one thing they get into is that everyone's like scared of him. In the little Boston community they're in, they're like, when they know Joel, they know the name, and they're like, dude, yeah, he's scared of you, man. If you show up, he's gonna run. Like, he's like, his name is like legendary or something in the whatever community they're in. So like you already know that, but they don't like show any of it. Like they show as much as they do in the game, which is like nothing. They just flash forward 20 years, and you're like, yeah, I'm hardened. But they don't get into any of the context there, which I was hoping that they would kind of fill in some of the gaps there. But like it sticks very closely to that game.
Yeah, we'll probably see more of that later because like in the game, like I think he had like a reputation in the game too of like not to be fucked with. and they don't
Yeah,
go
yeah,
into why he has that reputation, but you see it like in the stuff he does. Like when he fucks people up, you're like, oh, that's probably why he's got this rep. Like you don't have to go into what he's done. You see what he's doing now, and you're like, okay, maybe he's got a good reason to earn that reputation.
yeah. It's just, but in the show, the only thing they do is just they just go back to his daughter, as if like
Yeah.
that was the only thing. So I just wish, because the game doesn't do that. The game just shows you, hey, he's a fucked up guy, but
Yeah.
they never like flash back to daddy, type shit. So
Yeah.
I don't know. It's yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we'll see what happens with the show. Then I'll check it out eventually. I will check it out one day. I want to watch it, but my big thing is like from the first episode, if you've played the game, other than like the new context and stuff, is there really any reason to watch it? Like artistically, is there any reason to watch it?
Um, not. I mean, not. It doesn't do. It's. I mean, it's good. I mean, like,
Yeah.
is there any reason to watch it? Like, kind of no, but it's
Yeah.
still it's interesting just from the fact that the Last of Us was always a game that I would rather watch than play. You know.
Yeah.
So it's good in that sense of where it's not doing much different from the game, but it is still entertaining in the same way the game is. Where like, yeah, the story is just phenomenal. So
Yeah.
the
I'll
acting
check it
is
out
great.
for sure. I'll check it out for sure then, because like here's my thing with video game adaptations. I keep seeing the same fucking thing everywhere. It's like, oh, The Last of Us breaks the video game adaptation curse, and it's like, was there really a curse though? Because like we got a lot of like really good adaptations in the last couple of years,
Yeah,
and let's be honest, Last of Us was like kind of already a movie anyway. So if we're talking about games that got adapted, like Last of Us is not only the latest adaptation we have, but it's also like the newest franchise to get an adaptation. Last of Us came out like 10 years ago, right? So,
yeah. So it's
has
like
it really been that long?
it's hard.
Really?
Like
Has it
if
really
you
been that long?
if I feel like the only people who are watching it are the ones who played the game. Like I
Yeah.
feel like it's not cut through yet. I think once it gets going and people start talking about it more, it'll cut through into like the mainstream, because I feel like the show isn't really mainstream. Like I feel like it's only the people who know the game are watching the show.
Yeah, I feel like once it's on HBO Max, right? So I feel like it'll hit
Yeah,
that mainstream soon. It's just when I watch it and when I hear about it and it's like and I hear an adaptation, I was like, what is there to adapt? Like, really? You could like take the cutscenes from the game, literally like shot for shot, recreate those, maybe make some new stuff to like fill in the gaps between, and you'd have a pretty solid like movie. Like, I don't think there's like a lot really to change. Whereas something like
yeah.
Castlevania, for example, like that's gonna take a little bit more work to adapt.
Or even Sonic the
Um,
Hedgehog. Like recently,
yeah, even
that's the
Sonic the
most
Hedgehog, yeah.
successful example that I can think of.
Detective Pikachu is another one.
Oh yeah,
I
yeah.
heard it got good reviews, yeah.
But that's more of like a
So
standalone thing,
yeah,
you know.
yeah, that's
But
true.
I
But
guess all the Pokemon
so
movies are, because Pokemon was
yeah,
already an anime. It wasn't really a game. It wasn't a game first. It was already an anime.
it was a game first.
Was it?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
it was a game first. The anime stuff came by later, but yeah. Um, where was I? Yeah, so I mean, The Last of Us adaptation, like I said, there's not really a lot to adapt because the game was already basically a movie. I'll still watch it because, like, you're right, the story's fantastic. Like,
Yeah.
what medium it's in, it's a fantastic story, but
Yeah.
it's not exactly a story that like only works as a game. You know what I mean? Like, so that's why I think the movie would be good or the show would be good.
Yeah. And then yeah, it's like an adaptation in the sense that, I mean, if like shot for shot, like even the dialogue is straight from the game most of the
Yeah,
time. Like they don't do a lot to change. They do change some things where necessary, but for the most part, like the dialogue is straight up from the game. The shots
yeah,
are straight up from the game. The story beats, like everything is like they fill in a little bit of context, but It's mostly the same, which is fine, but I don't know. I think that the Last of Us universe has so much potential for storytelling
Yeah.
that they could start here, but if they go, because I heard they were even like considering maybe doing like a third game, and I'm like, don't, if you do, it can't be another fucking Ellie fucking thing.
Yeah.
Like they have so much, even like in the notes you pick up in the game, there's so much storytelling just in the
Oh
notes that you
yeah.
pick up that they could go and like tackle the universe that's talked about in some of the notes you pick up. Like even that kind of shit
Yeah.
would be great.
There are like legit like notes, like diary entries you find that would make like excellent like one-off like short films. Like
Yeah,
it's I would love to see that. Like show me like a Last of Us. That would be cool to see. Show me that's what they should have adapted. Show me a Last of Us like a Last of Us adaptation where every episode's like a different story. You know, show me, you know, those files you pick up, those stories you read, like, oh, where did that bow come from? And you read like this dude used to be like some like Olympic like shooter, like some bow and arrow like guy, and like his family got overrun by these zombies and the shit that they went through. Like, show me like that. I want to see that movie or that like that episode. Like, 'cause there's so many like, oh, you're right. There's so many of those things you find that just tell you so much cool shit. Or even Last of Us 2, you know, you find like zombies stuck in that like that bank vault because like some dudes are robbing the
yeah,
bank
yeah,
like right when the shit went down. Like show me that. I want to see that. Like that'd be cool
yeah.
as hell to see. Like that would be fucking dope, dude. I would love to see that. If they do make another series, this is my elevator pitch. Like show like adapt those like short stories that you find when you're playing the game because that we've never seen what that looks like, and that would be perfect to adapt. It's never gonna happen, but
We're
yeah, yo, what's up?
we do the show
Soup,
live, guys. It's
yeah, soup,
super ultra pimp, super ultra pimp,
super ultra. But that's it.
super
Yeah,
ultra pimp.
Last of
All
Us
right.
anthology would be sick. Yeah, I try to figure out the word. I can't remember what the fuck it was called, but yeah, anthology. A Last of
Anthologies.
Us anthology would be awesome, dude.
Yeah, yeah. Cause yeah, I don't know, the shot for shot, just straight up retelling of what happened in the game. Because we were like talking about this when like it was announced, and we were like, should they do a shot for shot? Or should they kind of just get original with it? I think, yeah, I think it would work. Like if they do more something in between, where they do like a shot for shot thing, but if they kind of incorporate like, hey, oh, we picked up this note, and or we found this bank, they could do like a flashback of what happened in the bank or something.
I would love to see that. I would
Yeah,
love to see that. I don't know how well it would blend in with this narrative they're already trying to show, but if
yeah,
they have like a separate season that's just like stories of The Last of Us or something, oh, that'd be cool. That'd be cool. Or Last of Us Stories of Survival. There we go. I don't know.
yeah,
There you go. I just pitched it to you,
yeah,
HBO. Like, just do it.
yeah.
Oh
But
God, I'm excited for something
that's
that's never gonna happen now.
but because yeah, yeah. So I feel like, yeah, if you take something that's already good and you just make that thing again, it's probably still gonna be good. It's like the latest like Modern Warfare 2 came out, and you know Modern Warfare 2 was already good, and they kind of just took that and added a little bit to it, you know, refreshed it a little bit, but it's still at its core still Modern Warfare 2, you know, one of the greatest Call of Duty games ever made.
I
So
actually heard that like it took enough changes at the end of Modern Warfare 2 remake. It like surprises you, and like a lot of
yeah,
fans, like hardcore Call of Duty fans, are like, I have no fucking clue where the third game's gonna go now with the way two
yeah,
ended.
and that's a good way to do that.
Yeah,
To
same.
like, if you're
I
gonna
think so
just take
too.
something, remake it, just do it enough to keep the people who already know that's what's gonna happen. Do enough to keep those guys guessing too.
Yeah, I'll check it out for sure. I'll probably have some time later in the day when the baby goes to sleep and wife's asleep. I can probably watch it, but Yeah, I'll give it a try for sure, man. Like, cause like I want to watch it. I do, just to like, so I know what I'm talking about with it. So
Yeah,
by this time next week, I would have watched it. I'll have a better opinion.
yeah. And this ain't gonna turn into like a fucking weekly recap of The Last of
Yeah.
Us. Like
Unless there's like an episode that's like really like, oh, holy shit.
unless they
Like,
go somewhere, yeah, I guess, yeah,
yeah.
maybe, but yeah,
Yeah. I don't feel like talking about this again until like there's that episode where it's like, oh, holy shit. Like, any hesitation you had, like, throw it away. Cause it's gonna do so. It does the Final Fantasy VII remake thing where it fucks
yeah.
with you. If you know
That's
the game.
exactly
Like,
what I was
that would be
thinking
cool to
of.
see.
That's exactly what I was thinking of. Like that. That's a
Yeah.
game that does it well. Where even if
Yeah.
you play that original, and people actually hate it for this, kinda, but that
Those
game
people are
does.
dumb. I love it for that. I love it for that.
Yeah, me too. Me too. Because yeah, that game does go somewhere, and you're like, what the fuck? Yeah. So that's kind of what I want out of this. Because
Yeah.
I think for me it'll get a little stale, but I it's weird because I would have intended I would have preferred to just have it as a show from the beginning.
Same.
Because they're doing like they're doing a God of War thing too, and they're doing I think they're doing like a Horizon thing as
And
well.
A Fallout thing's getting done too.
Oh, the Fallout one. See, but that's a Fallout again. That's a universe that you can tell so many stories in that you don't just have to do.
Yeah.
You don't just have to do the Fallout thing.
Yeah. So I'm excited for the Fallout series because of that reason. Like, because the RPGs, at least the older ones, were like, silent protagonists, like choose your own dialogue, like RPGs, old school.
Yeah, yeah,
Fallout 4 kind of changed that, but even then, it wasn't like a cinematic game, like at all. Like Fallout's
yeah,
never been cinematic. So seeing that adapted, that could be an interesting adaptation. That's
yeah.
something I would like to see. So we'll see what happens with it. But yeah, Last of Us episode 1 came out. It's good. Go check it out. Anything else you want to talk about before I move into my shit?
Nope. That's it.
All right. So I still played a lot of Pokemon, and I haven't included a link there because here's where I'm a fucking nerd. All right.
Okay.
Pokemon have these like raids where you fight these Terra Pokemon, the terrestrialized Pokemon. Each one of them, it's like a 4v1 thing. These Pokemon are super strong, so it takes like a team of people to take them down. Their newest raids are 7-star raids. You can only do after you beat the game, beat all the post game content, and these are like high level raids. Like you got to like train a specific Pokemon, breed a specific Pokemon to have a chance of winning these. Like these are hard as fuck. I'm not even gonna go into like some of the nitty gritty I had to do to like their last raid, but they just announced that a new Greninja raid is coming out pretty soon, and this is gonna be fucking insane because it's gonna be like a level 100 Pokemon. It's a poison Terra type, which means it's a poison type, but it's a Greninja, so it still has like dark type moves, which is gonna fuck up. I'm trying to get a psychic type running to take him on, which his dark typing is gonna like fuck me up. I know I'm talking about stuff that you don't give a fuck about, but this is what I've been working on for the past like couple of days, just breeding specific Pokemon to take this on when it drops.
I don't know what a Pokemon raid consists of. What's like what?
It's just that. So it's a 4v1 Pokemon fight. So it's like this giant, uber powerful Pokemon with a fuck ton of health, fuck ton of defense, fuck ton of stats, and you have a time limit to take them on. And that time limit, it reads through. It goes in real time. This time drains, right? And every time he knocks out somebody, it takes a chunk out of that time limit out. So, and the level 7 raids, which are the highest level raids you can do, these are like uber strong, perfect IVs, specific EV trading, fucking ridiculous typing to fuck with you. So like its Terra typing is poison, right? Which is weak to psychic type attacks. So you think, oh, I'll get a psychic Pokemon, take them on. No, because Greninja is a water dark type. It has access to dark moves, which fucks up psychic Pokemon. So you got to be really careful with like how you go about it, especially since every time you get knocked out, you can put your Pokemon back in, but it takes a chunk out of that time. So they're fucking hard, dude. Some of these have been fucking ridiculous. They did a Charizard one a while back that was fucking insane. I barely managed to scrape past that one, and they did another one with a Cinderace that was fucking crazy because it buffing itself up, and literally like 2 hours into the time limit, because these are limited time raids. They're not there forever. Literally 2 hours into the deadline, I fucking finished it. It takes forever. And so when this got announced, I was like, okay, I motherfucker, I'm gonna start like breeding right now. I'm gonna get a Pokemon going to take this motherfucker on. Like I put a lot of time into it, maybe more than it deserves, honestly, because it's fucking Pokemon. But god damn it, like once you finish the raid, you get to catch the fucking thing. And it has an insane ability where its type changes to match the attack you use, which could just do so much stupid shit. Like once I catch it, and it's level 100, perfect IV, so I could breed it to make other awesome Pokemon. Like, there's a lot of reason to take this on, right? There's a lot of reason to take this on, and I've been spending a lot more time on it than I should be. It's set to drop January 27th. It runs until January 29th. So I have like 7, 8, 9, 2 days, 48 hours to take this thing on once it drops. And I am ready. I got my Pokemon bred. I'm ready to go. I'm gonna take it on, and we'll see how long if I can do it. But that's what I've been spending a lot of time on.
I like how
I know it.
this article has
Yeah.
an annotation that says, we originally incorrectly stated that you cannot breed mightiest mark Pokemon. This mistake was made because John is an idiot.
Yeah, that John's an idiot. Like I've bred
Do you
these
have
Pokemon already.
do you need to go in with like a squad, or is it just gonna give you like randoms to play with?
Gives you randos. So I've been able to beat it with randos because a lot of people who are taking it seriously,
Yeah.
like they could carry a lot of the people who don't know what they're doing, but it's not perfect.
Yeah.
So like, here's what's crazy about the Greninja, right? Greninja has 2 hidden abilities, and it could be either of them. There's Protean, which changes its typing based on the move it uses, which doesn't matter because once you Terra type it, it's going to be stuck on that typing. So nothing can change that. So it's not going to be a big deal if that's its ability. But it has another ability called Battle Bond, which increases his attack, speed, and I believe special attack every time he knocks out a Pokemon.
Okay.
So if that's his ability, I'm going to have a really, really hard fucking time. Because even if I have a squad of people that's doing everything right, if there's one rando that like doesn't know what he's doing, he's getting wiped out every turn. Not only is he costing us time to take this thing on, but he's buffing the motherfucker every time it knocks him out.
Yeah.
So that's why I hope it's not that. Well, I hope it is that because it's a cool fucking ability. So I'd love to have that if that is what it is. But I'm gonna have a much fucking harder time if that is the ability it has. So we'll see when it drops, what it's gonna be. But that poison Terra typing is tricky because the only things that can take on a poison type Pokemon are ground types and psychic types. And if I go up to it with a ground type or psychic type, it's a water dark type. So water's gonna take out any ground types I throw at it. Dark's gonna take out any psychic types I throw at it. So this is why I like this new Pokemon game. This Terra typing stuff, the terrestrializing feature, adds so much like competitive depth to the game. It's like crazy. I hope it's not a one-off gimmick. I hope this comes back. It's such a cool idea to change your Pokemon's type. It's fucking cool. I really do hope it comes back somehow, some way. I hope it comes back because it's such a cool ability. And these raids are fun because they give you an excuse. You can't catch Greninja in the base game. The only way to catch it is to catch it in this raid, or wait until Pokemon Home comes out and transfer it. So, but even then, because it's a Mightiest Mark Pokemon, it's a 7-level raid. It's gonna have a hidden ability which you can't get naturally. You have to wait for like an event or like a super lucky breeding. Actually, I don't think you can breed it. I think you need to have a Pokemon that has it. Or that's it. It's the only way you can get a hidden ability Pokemon. Or if you already have one at Pokemon Home, transfer it, but it hasn't been updated to work with Scarlet and Violet yet. So that's what I'm spending a lot of time on, is like breeding a Pokemon to take this guy on, so that I could have an easier time with it. So I'm not spending forever getting my ass kicked. Um, yeah, I played a lot of Pokemon specifically for that reason. I
Okay.
know, fucking nerd, but I'm talking about a very niche thing that you don't understand, and maybe no one watching this is gonna
Well,
understand.
I,
But
I understand
goddamn, it means a
getting
lot to me.
I understand getting raid ready. Like
Yeah,
that's a concept that I'm familiar with. So I didn't realize that Pokemon was that going that deep though in like this raid shit. So it's
these
really
raids go hard, dude. Like some of
yeah.
these raids are really fucking tough. Like you need to have a level 100 Pokemon to even stand a chance. But even then, like if you're not prepared, if you're not breeding this, because that's what I did. I bred Pokemon to take on these raids. The Charizard one I got super lucky on because I had like a level 98 Gardevoir, but I didn't EV train it. I didn't breed it, and I almost got my ass kicked. But the rest of the guys who were there were kind of, they knew what they were doing, so they helped me do it. And even then, because of my typing, I wasn't getting knocked out, so I wasn't like detrimental to the raid either. But the Cinderace one, god damn, it was so fucking hard because it had a move called bulk up, but she just kept spamming that. It raises your attack and defense one stage every time you use it. And he would just spam it over and over and over again, to the point where like we couldn't hurt him and he was just one-shotting people. So I had to breed a Pokemon specifically to take him on. It's called an Espathra, which has an ability that copies stat changes from the other Pokemon. So every time he was buffing himself up, it was buffing me up. So I wasn't getting knocked out and one-shotted.
Okay.
And I did that to run support. So everyone else who was trying to do damage to it, I was keeping their health up, I was keeping their stats up, so they weren't getting one-shotted. I put a lot of effort into this, maybe more than what was necessary, but god damn it, I finished that with like 2 hours left in the deadline. So what does that tell you? Either I suck at Pokemon or these are really fucking hard. Um, but yeah, it's fucking crazy, like how much work goes into these high level raids, dude. And I have a lot of fun doing it. This is what I like for Pokemon. I have more fun like breeding Pokemon, making the perfect team, than actually using it. So this gives me an excuse to like, always be doing that. Whenever a new raid gets announced, a new like high level raid, I'm like, okay, let's look up strats. Let's see what I need to take this on. And I breed and train a Pokemon specifically to take on this raid. And I'm having fun with that. I know that's not fun for everybody, but that's fun for me. And I have a badass like Pokemon to show for it once I'm done. So,
Yeah, but
um,
that's the we're talking a lot about Pokemon now. But this is
yeah,
interesting to me because the thing about Pokemon is the like the breeding of them, right? Or that's one of the core concepts of Pokemon. That's something that
yeah,
I'd never gotten into. Like I never cared about like breeding a specific and trying to get like a specific thing, you know.
yeah,
But it sounds like that's something that's been kind of brought into the light a little bit because it's beneficial now for doing stuff like the raids and shit. So
yeah.
or
And
my
that's what's so cool about it, because it gives me an excuse to do it. Because like you can breed Pokemon in the older games, but the only incentive really was like you had a competitive, viable Pokemon, right? But if you're not really in the competitive scene, like I'm not gonna compete. Like it's fun, don't get me wrong, but like it's not what I'm playing Pokemon for.
it
Like
is
I make these like
competitive.
great
Like
Pokemon. Yeah,
competitive was never it was never as easy to compete in Pokemon. Like I've never played Pokemon and looked at it going like, yeah, I'm gonna get the strongest fucking team, and then I'm gonna do what with it? Like that
yeah,
it was neyou as easy enough to yeah, I'm gonna get my link cable out and we're gonna connect all these fucking Game Boys, and it just wasn't it was never something you'd ever think about realistically.
yeah.
So I now that they've caught up to the 20th century and fucking they're with the times now and they've online connectivity is a thing. It's a lot more now. It's something you can think about a lot more. But
Yeah, and not just that, but like if you breed a Pokemon specifically for to take on raids, you don't the moves it's gonna have, the abilities you're gonna focus on, it's not gonna be the same as a Pokemon you breed to like compete, right? Like, because you're competing, you want to breed your Pokemon to take on like a whole like group of Pokemon. You don't know what you might go up against, so you might build a team. You might look at like, oh, what's like popular to
Yeah.
use in this tier I want to compete in. Okay, I should build a team that could like take on what's popularly
Yeah.
used here while also like being able to cover weaknesses.
Yeah, it's like
You're,
having
you're, you're
your raid gear and then having your PvP gear, basically.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. So that's where it's fun because every time a new like big raid gets announced, it's like, okay, I gotta breed a Pokemon for this raid. That's probably not going to be used again later. Maybe not. I could probably use it for something else, but with the raids that come out, like when I breed that Pokemon to take on this raid, like it's for that raid. Maybe I could use it for another raid if a lot of the stuff matches up, but chances are very unlikely. Like because of the way Pokemon are typed, because of the abilities you can use, the abilities they have. That Spother I was talking about, it's a psychic type. So its ability to like copy its Pokemon, its opponent stat changes it's very helpful. If the next raid is like a dark type raid, it's not going to help me because I'm going to get fucking knocked out. I'm not going to last long enough to do it. And you could argue like, well, this raid might help because this Pokemon's a poison type. Not really, because if it has that Battle Bond ability and it's wiping out dudes in one hit, yeah, I'm gonna copy those stat changes, but it's taking on that time that we need to take them on. I'm better off like building a Pokemon that's not gonna get knocked out, than one that's gonna and maybe one that could like play support. I can stay, I can keep on, don't get one shotted, and keep the rest of my team getting one shotted too. There's a
Yeah.
lot of stuff behind this that like to consider. And if I had actually had like a group going, I have no problem like breeding a whole team and giving them out to people to like take these things on. So we have the easiest chance possible. That's not viable right now. My brothers have Pokemon, but they're so far from the end game. They're not gonna finish it by the time this drops. So
Yeah.
I've been doing it solo.
Yeah. This is very interesting. I've never heard anyone talk about this aspect of the game like that, or
Nobody
specifically like the
does.
breeding shit, because it's interesting to me because it's something that's been in the game since the beginning, but you'd never had any reason to do it, so I'd never cared about it. But
Yeah,
now
nobody
this,
talks about it, especially with this one, because like the big meme about this game is like, oh, look how glitchy it is. Look how bad
yeah,
it is. Like, which, yeah, you show a bunch of glitches out of context. I've never experienced any of these glitches that people are seeing on those memes. So I don't know. Maybe like I got into it after some of the updates came out. I don't know. But I've never had those issues. And honestly, like the Terra typing alone is like such a game changer in how the game is played. You can do some cool shit with this that I don't think we scratched the surface of. These raids are already showing like how cool some of these Pokemon can be when they have the right Terra type. And so far, the last 7-star raids we've gotten are totally different. The Terra types of Pokemon have are totally different from their actual typing. Like the first one we got was a Charizard raid, and Charizard's a fire flying type. Its Terra type was a dragon. Cinderace is a fire type. Its Terra type was fighting. And now Greninja, its typing is water, dark. Its Terra type is poison. So it's already showing like how much I know how to fight a Greninja. I don't know how to fight a poison type Greninja that still has access to like its water and dark type moves. And this is what's so cool about it is that the breed of Pokemon to do that. And it's so cool, and it's something nobody's talking about. And I want to talk about it right now because it's such a cool concept that hopefully people, when I tell people I'm playing the new Pokemon like religiously, people will know why because it's a fun fucking game. Glitches and everything be damned, like poor performance be damned. Um, I've also been playing Xenoblade Chronicles 3, which is still fucking fantastic. I don't want to talk about it too much because I don't want to spoil it. It's still a pretty new game, but it's incredible. I think it might be my favorite Xenoblade so far.
Okay.
Um, yeah, because I told you, right? It's got a job system.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it takes the class changing stuff that Xenoblade 2 had, but instead of locking it behind like, oh, I gotta unlock these fucking gems to get a blade, and hopefully the blade will be a blade I want. No, you unlock classes as you play through the game. A lot of them are locked behind like side quests. So there's an incentive to do the side quests. You can unlock these classes, and once you unlock them, um, you only one character has access to it. But once they use it enough, and other characters in your party see them use it, they can unlock that class too. And it's so much fun because stuff carries over from one class to another. So like I mentioned last week, there's a healing class that focuses on, it's like a DPS healing class, which is insane to me. And it has abilities that can do things like pierce defense or ignore defense completely, which you can attach that to like your attack classes and boost like your effectiveness with it. It's so much fun just fucking around with. And like I was saying last week, the story's really cool too. And I love it so far. I don't have a lot to say about it because I don't want to spoil anything. But Xenoblade Chronicles 3 is fucking incredible. And if you like the Xenoblade games, Xenoblade Chronicles 3 is the best one so far. I'm having so much fun with it. It's fucking great. And it runs super well on Switch too. So like people are saying like, oh, the Switch is like a weak console, that's why Pokemon can't run on it. No, Game Freak is the shit developer. Like there I said it. They're a shit dev. I mean they've always been a shit dev, right? Like they've always had to focus on like low tier hardware, the Game Boy Color, the Nintendo DS, the 3DS, and now they have to move on to like a more complicated system. They're having a hard time with it. Like they're a shitty developer. And Monolith can pull off open world games with Xenoblade Chronicles 1, 2, and 3 on the Switch, and it runs just fine. So, yeah, the Switch is an underpowered console.
Yeah. I mean,
Game Freak is
even since the Wii or the Wii, yeah, the Wii, they've been doing, they had Xenoblade on there, and that one, even for the Wii, was like, man, this looks incredible. They were doing that on like
yeah.
Wii, which is
And not
basically
just that, but they
GameCube
re-released
hardware.
it. Yeah, and they re-released that on the new 3DS, remember? And it
Yeah,
ran great.
yeah,
So that's why I'm like, Game Freak is just a shit developer. Um, but yeah, honestly, like Monolith should make the next Pokemon game. It's never gonna happen, but they should do it because
God,
I feel
could
like
you
they can get.
imagine?
Oh, it'd be incredible, dude. It'd be incredible. Are you serious? Like, it's never gonna happen, but I would love Monolith to make the next Pokemon. Just fucking take it away from Game Freak. They don't know what they're doing. They can make a great fucking game, and they're not doing it. And don't get me wrong, like again, like Scarlet and Violet's a step in the right direction, but Monolith is doing shit that Game Freak can only dream of, dude. Um, but yeah, Xenoblade Chronicles 3 is fucking fantastic. This game is, I will go as far to say it is a reason to own a Nintendo Switch. It's fucking great. Go pick it up. If you own a Switch and you don't have Xenoblade yet, go play it. If you do like Xenoblade, you probably already have this game, to be honest. So it gets my seal of approval. Um, Another game I want to talk about really quick. My brother got a Meta Quest 2,
Okay.
and he was asking me like, "Yo, like, what should I pick up on it?" And I told him Resident Evil 4. Resident Evil 4 VR is exclusive to Quest 2, and honestly, I wanted to play it, so that's how I was kind of going him to buy it. He bought it a while ago. I played it a couple times. Dude, it's fucking incredible. Oh my god.
Yeah.
As someone who's played Resident Evil 4 a lot, and I mean a lot, dude. I beat Resident Evil 4 at least once a year. Um, this is such a cool way to play it. A game I played so many times before, played in VR, it's like a totally different game, dude. Um, so the way the game works, that your equipment is like strapped to your body. So if you want to get your pistol out, it's on your hip. You have to reach to your hip, grab it, and equip it. You don't have to go into your inventory box anymore. Your long guns are on your back, so you got to reach over your back and grab it. But what's cool is that you can move and shoot at the same time, so that changes the game a lot. But also, you got to manually reload your weapons. So things that like was a button push in the original game, you're physically having to fumble around, grab a clip, snap it in your gun, cock it. There's more engaged to it. Like those little changes change the way this game is played so much, dude. It's incredible. It's so much fun. I didn't really play the campaign a lot because I didn't want to like campaign on his shit. But the mercenaries mode, the combat mode, the horde mode, it's available from the beginning. So you can bet your ass I played through that. And it is so much fun, dude. It works so well playing this in VR. Having to manually aim my shots by hand, not using a controller, it changes the game dramatically. And you're seeing in the video here, he's like dual wielding, he's got a pistol in one hand, his knife in the other. Yeah, you can do that in this game too, but the problem is like once you got to reload it, you got to put your knife away, fit manually reload. It can get cumbersome, but it's so cool. Like again, this is a game I played so many times and stuff I think was easy to do. Having to do it in VR, it changes the game so much. It's fantastic. I would go as far to say that this is probably worth buying a Quest 2.
Talk about the Quest 2 a little bit, because how does it like feel? Does it feel good? Does it look good? Is it comfortable? Is it?
It's one of the more comfortable VRs I've used.
It's like completely.
I've used the original.
It's like standalone, right? You don't need anything.
Yeah, it's totally standalone. You don't need anything. A lot of games run on it very well. I've been told you can get a boosted performance out of it. You can hook it up to your computer, so you can play off your computer. And I was told you can get a boost in performance. And there are some games that are only available on PC. I haven't tried it yet though. My brother doesn't have a PC. He just has this Oculus, and he loves it. He wants to get into PC gaming because of this Oculus. So, because he knows like you can hook it up to a computer and play some shit he can't get on the Oculus. Because right now the Oculus has its own digital storefront that you buy stuff from, which is cool. But you're kind of limited on what you can play on there. And he wants to like get into these games that are available on Steam that you can't play on the Oculus. Even though Half-Life Alyx is a Vive exclusive, he wants to like mod his Quest so you can play Half-Life Alyx. Like he's like really into it. And he's like, this is the most I've seen him talk about like PC gaming like ever. He's always been a console player and he wants to get into PC gaming because of this, which is cool. But yeah, I played it and it's fucking great, dude. Like it feels really good. It's super comfortable. It's very lightweight. I haven't had any issues with it. It's still VR though. So if you have a problem with VR, if you get headaches, if you get really nauseous playing it, I don't think this is really going to change anything for you. But if you like VR, if you like the technology, this is the easiest way to get into it. It's like $300, I think, for the Quest 2. So about as much as like a game system, about as much as a Switch, right? And I think you can get it at Walmart right now in a bundle that comes with Resident Evil. And
I like the footage. The footage of this guy is like, yeah, I'm gonna use this knife.
Dude, it's dope. Like it's really, really cool. Like it works. Like I was impressed with it. I was having a lot of fun. There are some issues with it that people have been talking about. So because everything's strapped to your body, your knife is on your chest, where it is in the game. So you physically need to reach to like your left pec and pull your knife off its holster to use it. But I've been told because it's meant for men, it's a male body.
Oh.
Some women are punching themselves in the tit trying to reach for their knife. And so I've been told there's a slider now, so you can augment how far out your knife is to kind of supplement your body type. So I'm a big guy, I'm a big boy. Last time I went to the doctor, I weighed a lot more than I expected. So it's really bad. If I want to be around any longer, I gotta get on a diet quick. But I never had a hard time. My proportions are not Leon's proportions. I'll just say that. And I didn't have a hard time reaching for the knife. But I'm sure like more well-endowed female players might have a hard time reaching for without adjusting that slider. So something to think about. But yeah, I'm having fun with it, dude. I never really had any issues with it. No, not too much like VR jank. It works really well to one for the most part. If you don't like standing up, because you can play the game standing up, the Oculus has sticks on the controllers to control the movement. And you can stand up, you can physically turn to like face people. If you don't like doing that, there is an option to sit down. You can use the sticks to move the camera. Like a more traditional shooter, you're just physically aiming the gun around, which feels pretty comfortable. That's how I like to play it stationary because I'm a lazy fuck. And it feels comfortable to play it like that. I've never had any issues. And stuff like this, like you couldn't do that in the main game. The way you were shooting through the crack in the dresser, you couldn't do that in the base game because you couldn't like get to that camera angle. Now you can, and it's fucking awesome. Yeah, this game is, if you play Resident Evil 4, this is such a cool way to play it that I've never experienced before, dude. It's I seriously heavily considered getting a Quest 2 after playing this. It's so much fun. I would not be surprised if by the end of the year I get a Quest 2, because that's how bad I want it. My wife's okay with it. She thinks it's cool too. So she gave me the okay to buy it. I'm just like, I got to be careful. I got a baby now, so I can't be spending my money willy-nilly like that. But yeah, that's all I played really this week. No big headlines really, guys. So we're just gonna go right into the quickies. And a move that shocked nobody, Marvel Avengers is getting its final update, ending support of the game.
Yeah. Which it went on longer than you thought it would, so
yeah,
I'll give them credit for that. But
they actually got through their season pass roadmap as originally planned. But it's still like, are we surprised that this game is shutting down? Like, it did not do well. The live service model was fucking garbage. September 3rd is when we're actually set to get end of support for the game. That's when we delisted from all the stores. You'll still be able to reinstall it. The actual timeline is that the final update will be coming March 31st. Microtransactions will be disabled. Game Pass, PlayStation Plus will still include the game, but all the purchasable cosmetics will be given away to everybody. Imagine you're some poor son of a bitch that actually bought this game day one, got into it, bought cosmetics.
Okay, no, I didn't buy anything.
Just to find out like a year later they're giving them for free. When did this game come out? It came out like last year, right?
Yeah, was it last year? I think it was 2 years ago.
Let me see. Hold on.
I think it was a 21. But you know,
2020.
Oh wow.
September 2020.
This game gets a worse rap than it deserves, I think. I mean, it deserves most of what it's getting, but like the thing is, it had a lot of potential, you know? It did. A very decent, more than decent single player story experience that was like, it was really good. Like the idea like that Miss Marvel was like getting the band back together to you know, fight some evil. It was a great concept, and the story and the interaction between the Avengers was like really good. Had an awesome cast, and like the voice actors were great, and you know the single player stuff was like really fun. Where they fucked up though is like tagging on that fucking multiplayer bullshit and this live service bullshit that like every time you finish like a story mission, you had to do like 3 multiplayer bullshit missions to like pad it out, and it was so shitty.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I'm like, this game didn't need to be as shitty as it was. And there's proof of it because they released the Guardians of the Galaxy game like a year later, and that's supposed to be fucking incredible because it doesn't have that fucking tacked on free like multiplayer live service bullshit. So I might actually get into this game now because they're shutting down the live service shit. It's crazy it's getting delisted though. Like that, I wasn't expecting that.
But it'll still be on Game Pass and PlayStation Plus, so It's better that way. You don't have to
Also,
fucking just buy it. Yeah.
also, if you want to buy it, let's say you're just like, I want to get a physical copy for whatever reason. The PS4 version is $899 at GameStop,
Nice.
$699 for Xbox One.
Nice.
Which, for shits and giggles, I saw what Lego Marvel Avengers cost. $9.99 for the Wii U version.
Oh wow.
Yeah, the Wii U version of Lego Avengers is worth more than the PS4 and Xbox One version of Marvel Avengers. Just food for thought.
It's that Nintendo tax.
So Nintendo tax, the fact that, like, you know, Marvel Avengers is a shit game. I joke, I say shit game, but shit concept with a decent game underneath, possibly. And I never played it, but I've heard you talk about it. My brother played it. They said the single player stuff is good. It's just the multiplayer padding live service shit is like what holds it down.
Yeah.
On top of that, both single player and multiplayer modes will still work as usual. Don't know how that's supposed to work, but whatever. And Spider-Man will still remain a PlayStation exclusive. So that honestly might be enough for me to like just buy the PS4 version for $9. Just like I play a Spider-Man.
It's not even worth it. It's not worth it even for Spider-Man. I mean, like, Spider-Man's appearance in that game is not even, like, he's in like one cutscene maybe, and
yeah, and I heard he plays like shit. Like,
yeah,
people go into it expecting him to play like Spider-Man from the PS4 game, and that's not how he handles like at all. But yeah, so that's a thing. If you're a huge Marvel Avengers fan, you're sad to see it go. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a bummer because you could see the potential in this game, and then I don't know, somewhere along the line, it got corporate, and then fucking that's where it went wrong. I feel
There was no reason for it to be a live service game. I don't understand. Like, why the fuck is it a live service game? There's no reason to make it like that.
yeah, the money got involved, and then the decisions were made on that.
Yeah,
I feel like, so.
Yeah. We got a kneecap game out of it. And some good news. Returnal is launching on PC February 15th.
Yeah.
Finally. Jesus, there's no reason for this game to be PS5 exclusive as long as it was. Well, I do know the reason, money, but it's going to have some really nice features. Things like NVIDIA DLSS and AMD FSR are going to be added. Ray trace reflections have been added. So ray trace shadows are already supported. We're actually going to see real reflections in the game too. So it'll be really nice to see. Ultra wide support, 21:9, 32:9 are both supported. And Dolby Atmos and custom ray traced audio, whatever the fuck that means.
Yeah, I've never heard of that. So
I Googled it.
Okay.
And I found an article. And I still don't entirely know what it is. It's a fancy term for what do they call it? It's a fancy term for like enhanced 3D audio. And I'm not going to pretend to understand the nitty-gritty of it, but basically the actual term should have been wave tracing is more accurate. What it does is that it calculates the audio waves and audio curves and allows it to bend in a more realistic fashion, so you get more accurate filtering from sound sources, so more accurate 3D audio and more accurate audio refraction. So like if something is bouncing off the floor or off the ceiling, if a sound is bouncing off the floor or ceiling, you can hear that. If it's bouncing off a hard surface versus a soft surface, you could hear that, which, you know, something to think about. If you live in a tile house and you say something or you talk versus a house that's all carpeting, you know, the sound's going to be different. And this ray tracing audio is there to support that. Which it's only called ray tracing because it's an easily marketable thing. If you don't know what the fuck ray tracing is, you just know all the buzzwords. But if you know what ray tracing is, you're like, has nothing to do with audio. So what the fuck is that? um, that's what it is. When you hear ray trace audio, change it in your brain to wave tracing, and it makes more sense. But yeah, there's I'll put the link in the article in the group chat here.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, when you're talking about audio, it's just like sound waves bouncing off of different materials, I guess. So I don't know if but I didn't. That's not a feature that you list on your thing though. It's just something. If your game does it, your game does it. I feel like it's not really.
So I think there's some confusion. It's like in game. So if you're in a game, for example, and your character is standing outside the middle of a field and like fires a gun, that'll sound different than if you do it like in a building.
Yeah.
And that'll sound different if the building's carpeted or with tile or
Well,
what
yeah,
material the walls are made
I
of.
understand what I understand what it means. I just don't understand why they're putting it on, because I feel like most games do that. They just don't feel the need to advertise that that's a thing that they're doing. But
I don't think it's like as supported as
like in a Battlefield game, if you like shoot your gun in a building, it sounds different. It reverberates differently than if you shoot it out in the field.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Well, you don't have to know that, because if you just play the game, it's something you just notice. They don't like list that as a feature. It's just something that most games do, I feel like. But
it's the custom audio that gets me confused. I'm like, what's so custom about it? Is it going to have like its own sliders for you to adjust, or I don't know. Next feature, keyboard and mouse supported. Yay. DualSense haptics is also supported. So if you have a PS5 controller, you can support the haptic feedback on the PC version of the game, which is cool.
Only if you're playing wired. Only if you're plugged in wired.
Yeah, only if you're playing wired.
Refuse to support the PC with proper wireless drivers. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. So that's something to think about. But the fact that we're getting this game at all on PC is awesome.
Yeah. I will be playing.
Me too. I wanted to try it for a while, and now that it's coming out, this system I could actually play. I'll check it out. What else have we got here? That's it for our quickies. Moving on to trailers and videos. Nobody Saves the World got a free update, The Impossible Dungeon. If you remember, I fucking fell in love with that game when it came out.
Yeah.
I didn't know there was like DLC for it. I guess there's like an expansion to it I didn't know about, and I never picked it up, and I feel I'm bummed out by it. And the game's not on Game Pass anymore, so I gotta buy it, which honestly I'm considering buying it on Switch with this new update.
Wow.
Just because like the game's on sale on Switch for like $15. The Frozen Hearth expansion is like $4. And this Endless Dungeon this Impossible Dungeon is free. So it might be worth double dipping because the game's that fun. Those of you guys who don't know, it's a very quirky ARPG made by the Guacamelee guys. It's super fun because think of it like Zelda mixed with like Diablo, but it has multi-classing and different ways to like carry class abilities over from one class to another. You can make some stupid builds in this game, and it's so much fun to play with. And it looks like they added this dungeon to run through, where you can unlock new perks, trophies to show off. But more importantly, there's a new class you can unlock called a T-Rex. That looks fucking cool.
Yeah. What I like about this is that the dungeon, it's an endless dungeon. It's an infinite floors.
Yeah.
Which is one of the things that I love about roguelike games that most of them don't do anymore. Is like the first roguelike I ever played was like one on like a Nokia cell phone. It was like one of the like pre-included, like one of those like shitty Java games. and it had no depth to it. You know, there was no like stats or anything, or there was, but they were completely invisible. But all you did was just fucking run into monsters to kill them, and then go down the floor, and it was just infinite, and that was it. And you would get gold, but you couldn't spend it on anything. Uh, and like, but that's what I loved about it, is that it was just infinite, so you could just keep going as long as you didn't die. You just keep going, and
Yeah,
it was
I
just
wasn't expecting this update from the game because like I played the game front to back. I beat it, did all the side quests. And I want to buy it again. That's how much I love this game.
yeah,
But it had its dungeons, but the dungeons were like specifically designed dungeons that had their own gimmick to them. So you actually had to like, because the game has this multi-classing system, you actually had to make a build specifically for that dungeon to beat it, which was fun. That was like part of the fun. It was almost like a puzzle. You know, you run through the dungeon, like, okay, this dungeon uses a lot of this type of enemy. I should mix and match these classes to run through it. And that was the fun of it. That's where I had fun with it at least. Um, and to add this impossible dungeon, that's like an endless, constantly evolving dungeon. That's expands on that game substantially, dude.
yeah,
Um, that's why I'm saying like I wanna buy this game again because it's such a cool game and it's legit like worth the money because it's so much fun. Um, when is this that's come out? Is this out already? This update?
it's out. It's out.
I'm gonna buy this game again. I'm gonna buy it again on Switch. I gotta play through it again. I mean, I could buy it on Game Pass, but it's the same price on Game Pass.
I'm gonna get it
And
on Steam so I can play it on, like a Steam Deck or something. I don't know. My Steam library is forever. My Switch probably won't be.
that's true. But I'm still gonna get it on Switch. Well, that's my portable system right now. That's why.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the game's normally $30 and it's worth it. No, it's normally $25, sorry, and it's worth it. It's on sale for 15. Definitely worth it. So go check it out. Like I've talked about this game a couple times and I fucking love it. And it's definitely worth the asking cost. And this new update, this new free update, fuck yeah, dude. Give me some more of that shit. Um, Elder Scrolls Skyblivion got an
Yeah.
official release year trailer. Those of you who don't know, it's Oblivion remade the Skyrim engine. This is how it started. It started like, God, I remember hearing about this like years ago. I
Yeah.
think since like Skyrim came out, this has been worked on.
Yeah, basically.
We finally
Um,
got a release date, 25.
yeah. So still a ways off, but I mean, it's just a bunch of volunteers working on this in their free time. But every time they show
Yeah.
this game off, it looks so much better and better and better, and just way more impressive.
So this running on the Skyrim engine, does it use Skyrim's progression system or is it using Oblivion's progression system?
I think they're redoing everything to work because all it is just a series of mods for Skyrim. So you can fucking turn Skyrim into like everything. And people have already changed the progression system to mimic like Oblivion, or even like Fallout games. They've made it resemble, or even like Morrowind and shit. So people have already done that stuff. So I think they're gonna make it as close to Oblivion as they can. Even they're even going so far as to they're going into some of the concept art and some of the concept, like in interviews and stuff, the stuff they said they wanted to do with Oblivion, but for whatever reason they didn't have the time, or the they didn't have the time
Resources?
to do it. So they're saying, hey, we went to some of that concept art, and we've even incorporated some of the concepts that they didn't have time to complete. So they showed off some of that stuff. They did a live stream like a day or two ago where they were showing off like a bunch of stuff, and they were like, yeah, man, we were able to do it, and we did it. So it's really cool.
It's quite. I played Oblivion. I played Morrowind a little bit, but I was like a kid when that came out, so I didn't fucking know what I was doing.
Yeah,
I never played Morrowind. I played Skyrim, never beat Skyrim.
me neither.
Yeah. And so this would be cool to check out. Like when this comes out, I'll definitely check it out. Everyone tells me Oblivion's like the better RPG, but Skyrim's like the better game just because how it looks and how it runs.
Yeah.
So if Oblivion can like get Skyrim performance, the way I said that unironically, Skyrim performance, no, it could be something neat. So I'm gonna check it out for sure when that comes out, 2025.
Yeah,
So I
well,
got
that's
some
the other
time.
thing is that Oblivion doesn't. It's not as modernized as Skyrim is. So even like the same thing with like Morrowind, like those are games that are like people consider them to be significantly better than Skyrim, but on a technical level, they're they're hard to go back to. You know, like Oblivion
Yeah.
does not have proper controller support at all.
Oh,
So
really?
yeah, unless you play it on console. So it's hard to fucking play like a video game, you know what I'm saying? So that again, that's another thing that with this it's gonna be significantly better. So
Yeah.
Oblivion was the first Elder Scrolls game that I played. So there's a soft spot, there's a little nostalgia in me for Oblivion. So like doing that like Thieves Guild the first time, and doing that like the Dark Brotherhood the first time was like just magical, dude. It was crazy
Everyone
because
tells me. Every time someone talks about Oblivion, they're like, "Oh, the Thieves Guild arc."
yeah, it's just because it doesn't like the thing about Skyrim is that it holds your hand too much. When you do things in Oblivion, you're just doing them because you're just having fun, and then you realize that oh, doing the thing that you did actually triggered the Dark Brotherhood. So you get this note when you wake up, you go to sleep and you wake up and you're like, hey, motherfucker, we saw what
Yeah.
you did and we liked it, so we want to recruit you. And it's like, oh, okay, like it's shit like that. It's just you stumble into. Whereas like in Skyrim, it's like, hey man, they're recruiting for the Dark Brotherhood. Do you want to fucking go and it's like people are just talking about shit that's on the other side of the country that they shouldn't have any idea about, but because it's a video game and they have to tell you that this quest is happening, people know about shit that you're not supposed to know about because it's like,
Yeah. And that's one thing everyone tells me is that those games are better for like the role playing aspect.
yeah,
And I want to check it out, but like you said, they did not age well at all. These fucking
yeah,
games are hard to look at. They're hard to play with.
yeah,
And if you didn't grow up with them, you didn't have nostalgia for them, I can't imagine it's easy going back into them now as a
yeah,
new player. Um, that's why I avoided them. But with this update, this fan project, yeah, I'll look into it. It looks awesome.
yeah. So they're like recruiting people to help work on this. So
Yeah,
I think they're taking like anyone, voice actors or like anything. So
yeah. I would love to get in on that, but like, I got a family. It's not time to
yeah,
like
yeah,
voice act or do some graphic design work on a project I'm not getting paid for.
yeah.
As fun as it would be. But yeah, check it out when that drops 2025, everybody. Elder Scrolls Skyblivion. Let's get into some game releases. Forspoken, that's dropping Tuesday, January 24th. I forgot this game was happening, if I'm being honest with you.
I'm
Um,
curious about this, man, because
Same.
from what the story, the news that's coming out is that no one has review copies of this yet, and it runs like garbage on basically everything. Like you need a fucking CERN PC to
Oh
even run
no.
it at fucking 20 FPS or some shit like that. Like the minimum specs are like 3080. Oh
Oh
wait,
no.
let me make sure. It's like the minimum requirements is uh at 1060 it says, but I don't know.
Yeah, recommended.
Recommended is
Is-
3070. Oh no,
oh
that's so the
no.
minimum that the recommend is for 30 FPS at 1440. So you get 3070,
No.
yeah, 3070 gets you 30 FPS. I think on the PS5, the performance mode is like not even 1080p for 30 FPS, and that's performance mode on PS5. So there's something with this game. Just it's super poorly optimized, and so that's one thing. And then the other thing is just no one has review copies, so no one can even tell you that the game is good before you pay $70 for it, because that's what they want.
Yeah. That's why, like, I'm gonna wait till the reviews roll in, dude. Like, I'm gonna see what they say about it. What performance? What some PC benchmarkers say about the performance? Like, we'll have to wait and see, dude. Whenever that comes out, when that comes out, January 24th. But
I want to play it.
I want to play it too, but I'm not gonna pay $70 for it if it runs like shit.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna pay $70 for it at all, if I'm being honest. I'm gonna wait till that shit goes on sale. But I can afford it, but I don't know. Since I grew up poor, so I don't like paying full price for games. Even though I could probably afford to buy like a new game every month if I wanted to, like without like severely hurting my budget. I feel guilty when I do it. I'm like, I shouldn't be doing this. I feel dumb for doing it. I feel guilty for enjoying myself. Now that I have a kid, it's like harder for me to justify.
Yeah.
But yeah. I'm gonna check that out when it comes out on sale. If it gets decent reviews.
It probably won't, but there's a demo out, so people have tried that demo.
Oh, is there?
Yeah, and they were like, "Yeah, this demo actually made me not excited anymore." And I'm like, "Okay."
Oh, there's a demo out. It's demo on Steam. I can like download the demo.
I think it's only on PS5.
Ah, of course it is.
Yeah. So.
Of course it is. The console was built for. Like that's already like. I'm on Can You Run It right now, and it says I definitely cannot run it.
It just says straight up like no, don't even bother. Like not even. Oh, if you change the settings,
So
maybe you can.
minimum settings. It says I don't have enough disk space, so I just gotta like free up my hard drive a little bit.
I like how that's the
wait minimum. Minimum 150 gigabytes. Are you serious? Shit. Okay. But recommended settings. It says I don't have enough disk space. Enough disk space. And not enough RAM. It says minimum. It recommends 24 gigs of RAM. I got 16.
That's insane, by the way.
Yeah. Why is that? I don't understand why it needs 24 gigs of RAM to run properly. That doesn't make sense. Does this game like suck your dick? Like, why is it so RAM intensive? That's insane. That's like 2 tabs on Google Chrome right there. Why?
This game takes advantage of direct storage on Windows 11 and like PS5's SSD shit. So that's what's got me moderately curious. Is it's the first game to officially support that shit. It's like the first game that's like the example of we can only do this on the modern fucking hardware. So, but it looks like it's gonna be a poor example of this stuff if it doesn't even run properly, But
could that be why it recommended specs are like 24 gigs of RAM? That's insane.
It could be the RAM could be the way that stuff works. Maybe if you like don't have SSD to cache all that stuff, it backs up. It like uses your RAM as a backup, maybe.
Maybe
the RAM would be like your RAM would be like the next fastest storage. So temporary storage, but
that's insane to me. I've wanted to upgrade my RAM anyway, just because like the computer I got had like some shitty like pre-built RAM. So but I don't need 24. Nobody needs 24 gigs of RAM, really. Like
yeah, I think my system has like 64 gigs, just because. I mean, like RAM is kind of cheap now. It used to be expensive, but the prices have calmed down on it, so you can kind of get RAM for not too much nowadays.
I might as well just upgrade to like 24 gigs then. But still, it's weird to me that it needs that. For it to say like, oh, you need 24 gigs of RAM. No, that's fucky. There's something fucky there. It doesn't make sense.
I mean, it's also recommending like 3070, which is like the toppest, like, I don't know, it's like the fourth from the top in terms of
Yeah.
so you know, I don't know. Yeah. You know, I just want to see what happens with this. I think Digital Foundry already did a thing. Well, I don't know. Like I don't that no one has a game actually yet. So
Yeah, say how
I
could
think
they have done something if
they've
no one
only
has a copy
they
yet?
analyze the trailers. They analyze the trailers, uh, and go like frame by frame and tell you how the trailer is running. So I think
Yeah.
that's how they did their analysis.
Yeah. I mean, we'll see when it comes out. Hopefully, Digital Foundry will actually put out like an actual stress test so we can see what it looks like or
Yeah,
like a
actually, the
benchmark
demo.
test.
I think they tested the demo. The demo's out on PS5. So
All right. So we'll see then when it comes out. Like, if it runs decently on PS5, I don't understand how like it can't run on like a 2060.
yeah,
Like, let's
well,
be
that's the thing.
honest
It
here.
doesn't run decently on PS5. It
Oh
doesn't.
yeah. So
Yeah, I think it's like 1000p at 30 in performance mode. So even performance mode doesn't get you 60.
yeah. We'll see then when it comes out. I don't think it's gonna get great reviews though. We'll see.
Yeah,
Um, Imagine owning a PS5, getting a PS5, like you actually went out and got one to play like the latest and greatest games as the best possible performances you can,
yeah,
and you get Forspoken and it runs at 30 FPS.
yeah.
Jesus.
But I people probably won't even notice if I'm being honest.
Yeah.
Normal people don't notice that shit.
Man, yeah, you're right. Um, we also got Hyperdimension Neptunia Sisters versus Sisters releasing on PC, PS4, and PS5 January 24th. I don't know who's playing these games. If you played these games, let us know. Like, why? I'm not gonna make fun of you. I'm just genuinely curious. Like,
I
what's
played a
the
few
appeal?
of them. I
And
played
are
a
they
few
worth
of
like the yearly release though? Or
them.
almost yearly
No.
release?
Well, sometimes they put out different. This one's an action RPG, so it's like it's different.
Oh,
Uh, some of
I
them are a
like
little
action
different.
RPGs.
But if you played one, you played most of them. Well, they have like a trilogy of just straight up just turn-based RPGs, and they're pretty good. But you don't need to play all of them. Is the thing.
Yeah,
Uh, just play like whatever one is the latest one, and you'll have fun.
okay, I just fine. All
They're
right,
fun
cool,
games, yeah.
cool. We also got Risen releasing on Switch, PS4, and Xbox One.
Yeah,
Risen's like a 13-year-old like RPG cult hit, I would say. It's not really popular, but a group of people like love this game.
yeah. I have this game. I've never played it.
Yeah.
No trailer on Steam.
I mean, it could be good, but this is like an older, like kind of jank, like computer RPG, right?
This game's old as shit.
Yeah, it's like what, 13 years old, this game? 15 years old?
It doesn't even have controller support on PC. They're bringing this to
Yeah.
console. Curious about this now. It's from the perspective of playing it with a controller. Sounds nice. Um, what is this hitting? Switch, PS4, and Xbox One. Okay.
Yeah, January 26th. So, check that out when that comes out, or January 24th. January 26th, we got Pizza Tower dropping on PC. I actually heard of this game. It looks
Really?
cool. Yeah, it looks like it's like Wario Land inspired. Yeah, this game actually looked pretty cool. I put it in the Discord a little while ago.
Oh yeah, it's straight up Wario. Yeah, it even has like that
Yeah,
like dash move. This looks like
yeah,
a
it
Super
looks.
Nintendo. Like it looks like Booger Man. You ever play Booger Man?
I've never played it, but I've heard of it,
Yeah, it's got like that like art style.
which is cool. I like that art style. That kind of like '90s cartoon, like
Yeah,
gross, like Ren and Stimpy art
yeah, yeah.
style. Yeah, I like that. I like that look. And it looks fun. Like it looks cool as hell.
Yeah.
I never
Uh,
played the Wario Land games though, but I heard they're dope.
developer Torre de Pizza.
I think this is their first game.
I would assume so.
Yeah.
Do they just make pizza games? This
Like just a
pizza
bunch of
based.
pizza themed games.
Yeah.
That'd be cool. I like pizza. I like video games. So,
Yeah. Two together. This looks so fucking Super Nintendo, dude. Like
Yeah,
this. There's a style here that
it's
I'm
Super
digging.
Nintendo, but like it doesn't use the pixel graphics. It's like a hand drawn like 90s cartoon look, and I like
Yeah.
it. I
Like
miss I want more hand drawn games, dude. Like, don't get me wrong, I like pixel art, but I think hand drawn is like such a charming like look. I wish more games did that.
yeah, it definitely stands out way more than.
Yeah. What's that dude's name? Peppino Spaghetti?
Well,
Scroll
and
down to like meet the cook.
Peppino Spaghetti, a
Yeah.
supersonic Italian middle-aged man, and sometimes Gustavo.
What's a Gustavo?
I think it's
Is
another
that a name?
character, maybe. Fight some monsters and other weirdos. Okay. Oh, become the pizza tower. Interesting.
This is interesting. Yeah. I'm gonna check it out. I'm adding it to my wish list. This looks cool. Come on, just buy it. You know you want it.
Yeah.
God, I love the character animations, the character expressions. It's all just so cool.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm into it.
Like I
I'm
like
into
how
it.
I like this. See, it reminds me of like Cuphead, where they definitely like went for like a style and like nailed it.
Yeah,
Like these guys are nailing a style, but I feel like no, they're not going to talk about this in the same, because I could already imagine like you said, like a Ren and Stimpy esque cartoon of this,
yeah.
and it would probably work so well.
There's like this cartoon that came out like forever ago. Hold on, where is it? Here it is. You ever hear the Wacky World of Tex Avery?
I'd heard of it.
Yeah, it's a
It's like
show I
old,
watched when I was
right?
like. So Tex Avery is like a super old cartoon, but the
Yeah.
Wacky World of Tex Avery is like a kind of remake for a more modern audience. It came out in like I want to say early 2000s, pre 2010s for sure, and it looks just like that. Let me see if I can find it here. Here we go. Check this out. Like it looks like that show. It's crazy.
Let's see. Let's check it out. Oh wow, yeah. But see,
Yeah,
this has like the like. Is it like a Warner Brothers style? It's like a Warner Brothers style that this has. Is this a
I
Warner
don't
Brothers
know if
show?
it's Warner Brothers. I think Tex Avery is like its own cartoon,
Okay.
but it's got that like kind of 90s, like in your face, like kind of gross out cartoon look. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Like Ren Stimpy popularized it, but it was a pretty big thing in the 90s. I think this show came out later, so it kind of like missed that train a little bit, but it's like it looks just like that. Like, let's be honest here, it looks just like that, and I kind of like that look. It reminds me when I was a kid, you know.
Yeah.
So I hope this game does well. I'm probably gonna pick this game up too. Like, it looks dope. We also got Wonder Boy Anniversary Collection coming out January 26th for PS5, PS4, and Switch.
Couldn't find any page for this yet. Just a Gematsu article saying it has 21 versions of 6 games. So,
So is that like the remakes that came out later, plus like the older games, plus like maybe some international or Japanese versions of them?
I'm going to assume so, because so this game already came out I think like last year, the anniversary collection, or no,
Yeah,
the collection came out last year, which had
yeah.
4 games. This one has 6 games, but I guess different versions of each. Um, yeah, it doesn't say what exactly those ports are.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, okay. It's just different arcade version, SG 1000 version, Sega Master System version, Game Gear version. So I guess it's like each game on from different platforms.
Okay.
That's a lot. I
But
don't know
not
if
like the modern remake. Oh no, that was Monster Boy, right? Is that what it was called? I
yeah.
think it's a Monster Boy. Wait, didn't Wonder Boy get it? I don't fucking know. I think we've had this conversation before.
No,
It's like confusing.
it's Monster Boy and Wonder Boy. It's or no, it's just Wonder Boy in Monster World.
But no, there's a Monster Boy game too.
Is there? I think we did
Hold
have
on.
this conversation.
Yeah, Monster Boy and the Cursed Kingdom. I think it's like a spiritual successor to the Wonder Boy games. Or I don't know.
Yeah, there's
Yeah, I don't fucking know. I don't know. Point is, this is coming out Switch, PS4, PS5. So if you're a Wonder Boy fan or you want to get into the Wonder Boy games and know where to start, here you go. There's a whole collection to start with. We also got Alice Escaped, releasing January 27th for PC and Nintendo Switch. What is this? Oh, Metroidvania. Cool. With like cutesy anime girls.
as a recipe for success.
Yeah, it is. That game's gonna sell gangbusters, dude.
um, it looks. Oh, you've got like two characters that you can switch between,
Yeah.
which is pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm kind of digging what I'm seeing here so far. Like, this looks pretty neat. This could be
Melee.
fun. It's got
One's melee focus and the other has a gun. So
See, there we go. We got cute anime girls, Metroidvania hand-drawn art style.
yeah.
This game was made for a specific group of people. It's going to do very well with that group of people.
Yeah.
Next, we got Atone, Heart of the Elder Tree, releasing on PC, Switch, and PS4. Atone is a Norse mythology-inspired hand-drawn game that blends interactive storytelling and complex puzzles with a rhythm game combat system. Ooh,
Interesting.
very interesting.
Interesting. The not in love with the art style, but
I'm watching the rhythm game stuff, and it looks like it's just like a rhythm game with like the combat going on in the background. It's like a music video or something.
yeah, I've always like are some like puzzle elements to it too.
Yeah. Could be interesting. I'm gonna add it to my wish list. Check it out when it drops. And last but not least, January 27th, fucking Dead Space for PC, PS5, and Xbox Series X. This is finally releasing. I've been excited for this Dead Space remake for a while, man.
Yeah.
This looks really good. And Callisto Protocol getting kind of mixed reviews. I really, really want to play this, dude. I cannot wait till this comes out. Like,
Yeah, they fucked up with that because now
yeah, they did.
Dead Space is gonna come in and just eat their lunch, dude.
Yeah, dude, this looks great. Like, I'm excited for this.
Yeah, and as I have not played that original game, I played it a little bit, but I've not really like played it. You know what I'm saying? So this will
It's
be like,
good, bro. It's good, bro. But this is gonna be like a huge step up from it. Like,
yeah, yeah. I'm gonna start here and just let it. Yeah,
just watching the dev diaries and then talk about like audio recording and just the work they put into the audio alone. It's like, fuck, dude. Like, this is crazy how much work is going into this.
let's check the minimum requirements of this.
Yeah, good idea.
uh, 50 gigs.
Okay.
16 gigs of RAM, even recommended. Recommends
Yeah.
a RTX 2070, so previous generation previous generation.
Yeah.
And this is also, this is also a game that's only next gen. This game is $20 on GOG right now. Oh, it must be confused about this and the original.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess you must be looking at the original because they have very similar like cover art, the original and the remake.
Well, they renamed the page for the remake to Dead Space 2008. So.
You mean the page of the original?
Yeah, they renamed it.
Okay, that's good then. So that should cut down on some confusion.
Yeah. But yeah, it seems like you'll be able to. Now, this isn't doing as much as Forspoken, to be fair. I mean, that game is like an open world fucking thing. So, but I don't know. This is still a PS5 exclusive or a Series X exclusive. So, I would imagine they're doing some impressive stuff graphically.
Yeah, they're doing stuff. Yeah, they're doing stuff you can't see on like last gen, allegedly. So
yeah,
I'm excited for this, dude.
I will be playing this. This is gonna be good.
Yeah, I'm excited for it, dude. And that's the show, everybody. Thank you, everybody, for coming and listening to us.
Clay showed up.
Chloe. Yo, what up, Clay? I would love to hang around. I would love to hang around with you, Clay, but I got a baby to get to. Sorry, buddy.
Yeah, take care of the babe. That's gonna do it.
Yeah, it's gonna do it, everybody. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you so much for watching, listening. You guys know what to do. Wasabi, tell them where they can find us, man.
Gameoverse.com. Gameoverse.com/Twitch. Gameoverse.com/YouTube. Gameoverse.com/Discord. Go to the Discord. Jump in there and talk to us. Hang out with us.
Yeah.
Play some video games with us.
Yeah. We always talk back, so come in, say hi, let us know your opinion on some of the releases. If you play Hyperdimension Neptunia and you're gonna pick up the new game, let me know how it is.
Yeah, if you play any of those anime bullshit games, let us know, because we're looking for people who actually play those shits and tell us why you like it.
Yeah.
Or just whatever.
Yeah, everybody come in, say hi. In the meantime, stay safe, stay excellent to each other, and I'll see you guys next week.
Thanks.